We're looking at a piece of source material today that is, well, it's as brief as it is utterly terrifying. It's titled simply, Subterranean Blue, the Narco-Sub's Perspective. In this explainer, we're going to deconstruct the sheer, crushing psychological weight packed into those few words. So, lower your shoulders, take a deep, slow breath, and prepare to leave the surface completely behind. Because this text doesn't just tell a story, it demands absolute immersion.
Okay, let's dive into this. The source immediately hits us with this incredibly commanding cold open. POV, you are a deep-sea pilot. Just notice what the text is doing right off the bat. It doesn't say, he is a pilot, or they are a pilot. It uses those three demanding letters, POV. It instantly completely locks you into this claustrophobic second-person perspective. You're no longer just a passive viewer, safely on the couch. No, by the absolute rules of this text, you are at the controls, surrounded by the crushing deep.
Let's break down that title for a second, Subterranean Blue. It's just a chilling choice of words, isn't it? Subterranean literally implies existing under the earth, buried, cut off in a total, utter absence of sunlight. And when you pair that with blue, the text creates this incredibly heavy metaphor. The ocean depth here is so absolute, the pressure is so intense, that it feels exactly like being buried alive in solid rock, just entirely locked in from all sides.
Now, what's really interesting about this contrast is the immense psychological shift implied here. Up on the unseen surface, the world above, there's light, limitless air, complete freedom of movement. But this premise, it violently strips all of that away. It thrusts you into a reality where the light is just gone, where every breath of air is strictly, mathematically measured. Freedom is completely replaced by absolute confinement. You are literally sealed inside a metal tube, navigating an entirely unforgiving void.
So, what does a deep-sea POV truly entail? I want you to really think about the silence. And I don't mean a peaceful silence. I'm talking about the heavy, ringing silence of thousands of tons of water just pressing down on the hull. Think about the brutally narrow corridors, the complete lack of natural light, just the constant vibrating hum of the engine keeping you moving through the void. To actually accept this POV is to accept a state of perpetual, quiet, and constantly building tension. Let's revisit the exact phrasing from this source. You are a deep-sea Narco-Sub pilot. That single addition, Narco-Sub, drastically, entirely shifts the context of everything. It introduces a level of secrecy and danger that goes far beyond just the extreme environment itself. You aren't just trying to survive the ocean anymore. You are actively hiding within it. The solitary nature of this role just becomes exponentially heavier. It's a clandestine operation where failure is simply not an option.
And this brings us right back to the sheer power of this framing. It's absolutely fascinating how the text uses grammar to quite literally manipulate your heart rate. By forcing that word you, it completely refuses to let you look away. You can't just detach and analyze the pilot objectively because the text insists the pilot is you. You feel the condensation on the cold metal walls. You feel the vibration in your bones. You carry that intense psychological burden. It's just an aggressively effective way to present a narrative.
Let's move to and see how this builds. To truly grasp this source material, you really have to follow its implicit instructions. Step 1. Submerge. You have to leave your comfortable, bright reality entirely behind and physically enter the subterranean blue. Step 2. Accept. Tune out the world above and fully embrace the sensory deprivation of this cramped vessel. And finally, Step 3. Pilot. Take on the intensely active, highly burdensome role of control. You see, you aren't a passenger down here. You are the sole operator.
Let's really isolate the words defining this dark reality. First, subterranean. Just listen to the heavy, crushing nature of that word. It speaks directly to thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch. It's that raw feeling of being miles and miles away from the sky, completely wrapped in a cold, unforgiving darkness that stretches out endlessly in every possible direction. It is, quite literally, the absolute ultimate form of being hidden. And next, the blue. And we're not talking about a bright, inviting, sunny sky blue here. We're talking about a blackish, completely impenetrable blue, the true abyss. It represents total, complete sensory deprivation. Outside the incredibly thin walls of your sub, there is absolutely nothing. No landmarks to guide you, no horizons to look toward. Just an endless, freezing continuum that could swallow you up without leaving a single trace. The blue is impossibly vast, and you are impossibly, terrifyingly small within it.
So the crucial point is the final word, pilot. Amid all that crushing subterranean pressure, completely surrounded by that blinding dark blue, the text places the ultimate responsibility squarely in your hands. The extreme solitary burden of survival, of navigation, of absolute secrecy, it all rests entirely on you. The text doesn't just casually place you in a terrifying situation, it actively hands you the terrifying responsibility of having to steer your way through it.
This source material is incredibly brief, for sure, but man, its implications are just vast and, honestly, suffocating. It brilliantly uses that second-person perspective to physically drop us into one of the most hostile, isolating environments imaginable on Earth. So, as we conclude this explainer today, I want to leave you with the exact question this text forces upon every single one of us. When that heavy metal hatch finally closes, when the last ray of surface light fades away, and the dark descent truly begins, can you withstand the